Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Friday. I'm excited to get started today because this is a page that people have been waiting for and asking about. So I think we're going to have some fun today. Before I start though, I want to, let's see, today's the 10th, but we're observing Veterans Day here in the US today. So for Veterans Day, Armistice Day, Remembrance Day, I just want to thank the men and women in our armed forces for what they do every day. It means a lot to everyone. So thank you for what you do. All right, so now we'll move on with, today we're gonna be working on formalizing a planning routine and setting up a planning checklist in your notebook. So I'm setting up my 2018 journal this month just to try to get a jump on things, and I'm taking you through it page by page. So go ahead and tag a friend that you think belongs in this video with you. Grab a coffee. And hi, Amy. Good, glad to have you in here. You're married to a vet. Good. So am I. He's actually active duty now. So, and I'm a vet. So, yeah, I believe in military service. I think it's good for us. But anyway, okay. So tag a friend that you think belongs in here. I'm gonna get the link shared out real fast to a couple of groups that like to usually come play with us and have fun. So we'll get started here in just a sec. What's everyone planning for the weekend? Anything big planned? I don't think we have anything planned. I think we're gonna kind of lay low and clean out the house. We need to probably declutter some things. I think that's our big glamorous plan for the weekend. Don't be jealous of my glamorous life with my decluttering. Okay. Here we go. I'll post this here for my friends in the Barefoot Journaling Chronicles. I always have fun with them. They're a fun crowd. So if you haven't seen that Facebook group, you should go check it out. They're a lot of fun over there. Very low key, which I like. Not a lot of drama. It's really nice. So, okay. Here we go. I'm gonna leave my computer right here just in case you guys start asking for links. Oh, and I was gonna put in the comments, last time there were all kinds of people asking for links to things. So I figured I'd go ahead and drop these in the very first comment. So when people come in, if they start asking, you know, what notebook is she using, and you know, what are those pens, and what are, you guys can say it's in the comments. You can let them know for me. Because sometimes I miss those questions and I don't like leaving people hanging. So, okay. Oh, wedding on Saturday. Kayla, that sounds fun. And let's see. Oh, it's cloudy in Florida. That's too bad. It was cloudy here a couple days ago, so you guys probably got our leftovers. Sorry about that. Oh, happy anniversary, Amy. Going to a movie and dinner. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I think people will start to trickle in as we get going. So let me move you guys around here so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Easy. Don't drop anybody. Okay. All right. I want to make sure you guys can see. So my water bottle right there. All right. Let me move you guys over just a little bit closer to me here. Okay. Hi, happy Friday. All right, I'm reading through your comments real fast. Hi, Dawn, good to have you back. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started here. I wanted to mention this before I start. And I didn't link these. I'll have to do that. But somebody asked me about my ruler in an email, and they said, you know, what do you do? Basically, that's a huge ruler. What do you do? Do you carry that with you all the time? No, I don't. I usually have little rulers like this guy in the backs of my journals. It just depends. Like, oh, I have a stencil in the back of this one. I tend to carry them in the back pocket. So I usually just get a little guy to stick in the journal in case I'm on the go. So I wanted to answer that for everyone because this is my desk ruler. So you keep seeing me with that one because I'm sitting here at my desk. But these little guys come in handy too. So I figured I'd answer that question right off the bat. Okay, So this is my old journal. This is my new one. I'm moving from the old one into the 2018 one early so that I don't have any issues with goals getting dropped off or having to rush through things or having things not set up the way that I like them. So, and here's what we've done so far. If you're new to the series, then I'll show you kind of what we've done so far. So, the key and the index I have not filled in yet, but those are pre-printed in this notebook. And then I've got my word for the year with a little bit of doodle art, my 2018 year at a glance, just to give me a quick cheat sheet for what days of the week fall on what dates and all that, a birthday and holiday wheel. These typically are for things where the dates don't change, holidays and birthdays inside the wheel, holidays and important dates outside the wheel. This is my future planning page, long-term planning, annual planning, whatever you want to call it. And I just have one line per date of the month, January through April here, May through August here, and September through December here. So, okay. And then I've got, in case that's not enough planning for me, I also have a spot where I can dump appointments or events that come up in 2019, and I can put them here and kind of hold them there until it's time to create a more detailed page for them. Then yesterday we created this recurring task tracker, which is, I did mine on a monthly basis. So you can adapt this to be a weekly task tracker, a quarterly task tracker, however you want it. You could even do it daily. This is essentially a habit tracker kind of turned sideways. It's just a little different format. That's all it is. So, yeah, I did it on a monthly basis though. So these are things that I'm going to want to check off around the first of the month just to make sure that I'm getting everything done. All right, so today I really want to work on formalizing a planning routine and having a checklist for when I need to move things during migration. It just helps me to make sure that I'm checking all the appropriate pages. Sometimes we make pages and then we forget about them and we're not checking them, and they don't do you any good if you're not actually using them. So I'm going to start with my planning routine, and we'll kind of get through that as quickly as we can. And if we have time for the journal, the journal checklist, planning checklist, whatever you want to call it, if we have time for the checklist today, then we'll get to that. Otherwise, we will save it until Monday. So we'll start with the planning routine. So really, my planning routine may look nothing like yours. I'll start by saying that. You want to set a planning routine that you can maintain, and one that fits into your lifestyle. I tend to plan best when I do things well in advance. I tend to think better that way. I don't work well under pressure. So for me, I like to do a lot of my planning early on, the night before or at the beginning of the week. At the end of the month, I tend to think about what I'm going to do the next month. So I like to think in those terms. And actually, I would like a little bit of color on this page, just a little bit. I'm not going to do much because this is a very utilitarian page. And yesterday we did kind of the same thing here. We just did a touch of color on this one. We had fun with the 2019 overflow page. This one is very, very simple. And yeah, I might add some doodles kind of around the sides, but let's just start with, I promised I would use green in this one because somebody asked me about using green yesterday. They really wanted me to use green. So, okay, we'll use, you know what? I'm rethinking this. I think I'm going to use a gel pen for these in this kind of greenish blue, maybe, because they tend to show up a little bit better than the fine side of these when I'm writing real words out. So, okay. Here we go. I'm going to leave a little bit of a space for a header of some kind, and I'll come back and do it at the end. I'm not totally sure what that header is going to be yet, so I'm just going to let it be for now. And I'm going to start with my annual planning. Annually, I'm going to want to, so I'm thinking strictly in planning tasks here. So I'm not necessarily thinking about any other annual tasks that I would do. This is just for what I'm taking care of in my journal. So annually, this is a number 5. This is going to be too big. I'm going to get a number 3. I like a number 3 for every day writing. I will create my yearly planning pages, which is basically what we're doing right now. This is my annual planning. So all of this work that you see me putting into it, I'm not necessarily going to have to do that every single day. And I think sometimes people think, well, this is way too much time. Well, this is just to get set up for the year. I'm not going to do this every day. My daily planning is more like 5 to 10 minutes. So I don't have to spend that much time on planning tasks. Okay. I'm also going to want to save or move pages from the old journal. So I'll end up doing a flip through of the journal just to see kind of which pages I want to save, which ones are worth photocopying and pasting into the new journal, which are worth recopying altogether. Maybe the format changed, so I'll want to take care of that. And I also am going to add any annual trackers or collections. Yeah, or collections. That might be useful. So, books to read, home maintenance, what else? Travel wish list. That way, when it's time to go on vacation, we can just pull out our list and pick a place. We don't have to sit there thinking about it. Okay. Then at the end of the month, so that's when I like to do my, ooh, that E went crazy on me today. I like to do my monthly planning at the end of the month for the next month rather than actually doing it the first day of the month, because then I'm already behind. So, okay, at the end of the month. So obviously I'll need to create my monthly scheduling page. Okay, so that's going to hold all of my appointments for the month, and it's going to be a lot more detailed than what we have here in the future planning. So let's see, then we'll have, okay, we need to check birthdays and holidays, which we've already created. We need to check our future plans, future planning, and that's all I have in the way of scheduling in the front of my journal that needs, oh, and the recurring task list. We need to check that too. Recurring task list. Okay, so I'll check all of those. Then I'm going to close out the previous month. And I'll add it to the index. And index important pages. So that's just, depending on how you do your indexing, you may index more detailed than I do. I typically only index the, I'll show you my index. so you can see what I do. So when I close out my index, I end up doing all my annual pages up front, and then I do each month, and then I just index the important pages within that. So, and you can see I have not done my indexing for November yet because I'll do that at the end of the month. I'll index those important pages. So hopefully that helps you. Hold that up just a little bit. Okay. Excuse me. It's so dry here today, I think. At least it feels like it to me. Okay. So let's see. I've done that. I want to update planning checklist. Just to make sure that I got everything. And that's going to be over on the right page, right over here. Okay. And I need to clean up unfinished tasks. And when I clean them up, it's not necessarily that I get them done, it's that I decide I do the migration thing. Do I need to do it? Is it still important? If it's not, I get rid of it. If it is still important, then I move it to a later page, and so forth. But that's just a way of just going through and making sure that I haven't missed anything. I just kind of scrub my pages for anything that wasn't checked off, that wasn't addressed in some way. And then I'm going to set goals for the new month. Set monthly goals. Okay, that's probably good. Then at the end of the week, we'll want to, so that's, I'm going to do that on the end of the week. For me is Sunday night. Your end of the week might be a different night depending on what your work schedule is and how you do things. So can you guys see this? Am I too far down? Okay. At the end of the week, then I want to create my weekly planning pages. I like having a weekly planning page. Create my weekly schedule. And then I'm going to, and also I do a meal plan. And that just helps me eat healthy throughout the week. I tend to plan out each meal for the whole week. And I'll show you what that looks like this. Here's mine for this week, which I need to update, but whoops. So that's what that looks like. And I actually go through and see, I haven't checked off yet from yesterday, but like what I have for breakfast, then I just fill them in. And that's how I keep myself on track. And then if I need to know what I'm gonna eat, then I can just check it. So that's what that is when I say my meal plan. So I'm gonna create that every week. And then, let's see. What else do I need to do here? This is why I formalize this, because if I try to do it on the fly, I just mess it up. So, oh yeah, I need to check all my monthly pages. Check my monthly pages for events. And then we're going to review monthly goals. And that's just a weekly check-in to see kind of how I'm doing. And then we'll move unfinished tasks. And then clean up unfinished tasks. Okay, that's good. Now we'll move on to, this is going to be ongoing or daily. Okay, there's that. And we'll go ahead and we're just going to create useful trackers. Useful trackers and pages. And then evaluate what's working and what's not. Okay, that's pretty much it for that. And I think for this header, I'm going to use this typewriter font that I use so much. And I'll show you guys how I do that. So it's very simple, and I use it a lot though. So I use this one for like a monthly header, and I kind of have a bar that goes across it that gives more detail. I use that on monthly pages. I used to use it on my weekly pages, but I kind of got away from that just because I changed my weekly schedule. So usually I end up using this on monthly pages. Yeah, but it's a fun one, and I like the way it looks. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how I do that. So I think I'll do, now the thing when you're doing this kind of header, typewriter letters are weird because the round parts are very, very round, and the straight parts are very straight. So you just have to pay attention to that. And if you aren't very familiar with how the letters look, you may want a cheat sheet just to kind of guide you. And but over time, the more you do it, you'll get used to the way that the letters look and the curve that they have. So I kind of did like a drop case. Is that what they call them? Big letters, like the capitals that go down into the letter. I kind of did that. So I made the P a lot bigger than the L, and the rest are going to be smaller to kind of accommodate this space. So you want to make sure you put all the little feet on the header when you're doing it, like on these letters, because all these little letters, these little typewriter letters, they have feet. Serifs, they're called. Okay. And sometimes these types of letters, these real, typeset kind of letters, they look really nice, but they're harder to make them look good than, say, a cursive. It's like a real scripty thing, because when you see script, you expect it to be handwritten, and your eyes automatically sort of incorporate any imperfections into the aesthetic of it. But with these, you have to be very precise with them. So they're a little trickier to do, but I really love the way they look. At least they're trickier for me, I guess. I don't know. I sometimes have a hard time with all those loopy letters too. So I guess each to their own. So I made a real round bowl here in my G. And then typewriter G's have little ears. And I'm going to give it a little neck here. And then an oval in the bottom of the G. Ah! No! I forgot my second N. Okay. Well, we'll just fix this right now. It's not a planning checklist. It's a planning checklist. So that's okay. We'll fix this. No big deal. Okay. So there, we're back on track. It was a good G too. Darn it. Okay. Here we go. So when you're using this dry line, when you go over it, you just want to kind of be gentle, because it will tear if you use too much pressure over it. But these art pens, you don't need a lot of pressure on these art pens to get them to write, so that's not too bad. And then Okay, back on with our G. Okay. And here's his little oval. Okay. And we'll do, let's do a real curvy M right next to it. I always like the way that looks when we have curvy letters with real boxy letters. I think that looks really nice. And then I'm just sort of darkening the downstrokes just a little bit. Okay. All right. And then we'll do routine right under here because we won't be able to fit it in otherwise. Okay, there. That's not too bad. So my G and my T sort of lace together, which is okay. That's really not that big of a deal. They're different colors, so I feel like you can get away with that when you use different colors. But, okay, and we're almost done here. All right, that's that, my planning routine. So then each month I can come back and I can check this each month or week for that matter. At the end of the month and at the end of the week, I can refer back to these and see what I should be doing. And then I think we'll push the actual checklist, like the migration checklist that I like to use, we'll push that to Monday. And I'll do that on Monday at 10:30 Central. And hopefully you guys can get caught up over the weekend on all the videos. So all the playbacks will be on the website in the Planvember section. So if you go to pageflutter.com and then go to Planvember, all my stuff will be right there. Here, let me move you guys back so I can actually talk to you here at the end. So that's it. I don't know if you guys have any questions. I can hold this up for you a little bit. I know last time I've been forgetting to do that. So that's basically what we ended up with. So it's just a little bit of a rundown. That's all it is. It's a very simple page. There's a lot that I have to put on this page, so I don't do a lot of embellishment with it, and I like to stay focused on these types of pages. So I kind of just let them be simple and utilitarian. But after we get done with this, we're going to get into a lot more of the artistic pages. So I have, oops, here, I'll just hold this up and do it like this. So, because I already moved my tripod, made it all crazy. Okay, so, is this backwards for you guys? No, it's not. Okay, good. So planning routine, and then I'll have my checklist. And then I have a blank page to play with here. So right after our checklist, we're gonna get to do some fun artwork here, and we get to do our Hello 2018 page. We get to pick a fun quote and do some art. So I like having that kind of interlace with these practical pages and then these really fun artistic pages that are just there to be expressive. That's really all they are. And then we can get into more 2018 goals. And then we're almost done, really. We're almost set up for the year at that point. Then I just need to kind of get set up for January. And there are a couple of other things that I do to my notebooks to get them ready for the year. And I'll show you guys how I do that. And then to close out the month, if there are still days remaining and this is all set up, then I'll go back in and show you guys some tricks for making different headers and some different techniques that I have, so we can go through all of that. If you have any requests or anything that you want to see, make sure you send me an email at megan@pageflutter.com and we can definitely do that. So yeah, same thing. If you have any questions about what I was using, I tried to drop all of the links for you guys right away at the very beginning, so that there wouldn't be any questions about that. But that's pretty much it. It was a really simple day today, but yeah, it's Friday. That's Friday. I was in a simple mood. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, if you have any questions about my planning routine or how I incorporate these kind of into my day-to-day tasks, then feel free to shoot me a comment down below. Make sure you share this video with your friends. Make sure you like my page and follow it so that you'll get the notifications and you can see these videos when I'm live. Otherwise, you can watch the replays on my website, on pageflutter.com, or you can watch them on my YouTube channel, which is linked on my website in the Planvember section. So, because a YouTube channel is just too long, I don't know what it is. Like I could say it for you guys, but nobody would stick around for that. So, okay, well, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys back here on Monday at 10:30 Central. All right, see you then. Have a good weekend.